Today we're going to be talking about similar polygons. So we've already talked about congruent polygons, and we did a whole chapter on congruent triangles. Now we're talking about similar polygons and triangles we're going to eventually get to. Okay, similar polygons. Two polygons are similar if and only if their corresponding angles are congruent and the corresponding side lengths are proportional. So we are similar, corresponding angles are congruent, corresponding side lengths are proportional, not congruent now. So what you need to understand is that you have to have congruent angles. So you have corresponding angles are congruent, but now my corresponding sides are proportional, and they're going to have a scale factor. That's going to be what we call the scale factor. I assume I talk about that a little bit later on, and it'll just be good for you guys to understand. So what that proportion ends up being, okay, is the scale factor. And I know segment side AB is proportional to side WX because they're the first two letters that are listed there. And then you can go along with BC is proportional to XY. And then CD is proportional to YZ. And then AD is proportional to WX. Oh, example 2. Okay, I don't know what happened to example 1, but here we go. Example 2. If triangle ABC is similar, oh, that's important. This little symbol here means similar. So that little symbol means similar. List all pairs of congruent angles and write a proportion that relates to the corresponding sides. Okay, so again, remember that symbol means similar. Okay, so corresponding angles. A corresponds to R. So therefore, I know A is congruent to R. And then we have B, the second letter, corresponds to F, so B is congruent to angle S. And then lastly, our last, C and T, so C is going to be congruent to T. Okay, so that's very similar to what we did with congruent triangles. But now we have similar triangles where our side lengths are proportional. So AB, the corresponding side, I'm going from angle 1 to angle 2, or I'm going from angle A to angle B, so R to S. That proportion is equal to B over C is to S to T. And then lastly, you have AC is to RT. So corresponding sides are proportional. Corresponding sides are no longer congruent, or not congruent in similar triangles. I can only say that so many times. Okay, the ratio of lengths of corresponding sides of two similar polygons is called the scale factor. So I already said that. Okay, so when we set up our proportions, the scale factor should be the same for all of them. Okay, example 2. So I guess that was example 1. I got to adjust that. I'm not going to redo the video unless I make a big mistake. Okay, Tan is designing a new menu for the restaurant where he works. Determine the size of the menu. Determine whether the size for the menu is similar to the original menu. If so, write a similarity statement. Okay, so I'm going to have to write a similarity statement if I'm similar, and figure out what the scale factor is. Okay, so for example 2, you want to look and see, okay, 12 is to 14. Is that equal to, so I did 12 is to 14. The longer sides, is that proportional to the shorter side? Make sure you started with this rectangle ABCD, so I have to start with that. 10 is to 12. So now looking at this, if I reduce, if I reduce all of those by 2, I get 6 over 7. Here, if I reduce by 2, I get 5 over 6. Those are not equal, so we're not similar. Example 2b. Very similar question, but now I have to look at C. Okay, so I take the longer side in the first one. So 12 is to 8. Is that equal? I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Longer side. So 12 is to 9.6, as 10 is to 8. So in my calculator, what I do is I do 12 divided by 9.6 and write it as a fraction, and I get 5/4. I reduce each of those by 2. I get 5/4. Yes, we are similar. Now a similarity statement. Okay, so A, B, C, D. So rectangle ABCD is similar. Make sure you have the right corresponding sides. I started with A, which is this point over here, and I went to B, so that's going to correspond to side RS. RSTU. That's a similarity statement. What's my scale factor? Well, that's the ratio of the sides. I found that right here. So my scale factor is 5/4. Okay, my two polygons are similar. Solve for x and y. So I need to find my corresponding parts. My corresponding parts are proportional. So first I have to find, I notice AB and RS. So AB and RS both are corresponding because I'm going from an angle with 1 marking to an angle with 2. So AB over RS is equal to 6 over 4, which reduces to 3 over 2. So that's my scale factor. That's what I'm eventually going to be setting my proportions equal to. So now I start looking. Okay, I have side CD. So CD, the corresponding side in the other polygon is TU. That is equal to my scale factor, 3/2. CD is X. TU is 3. So now I cross multiply. This is why we did cross multiplying in the last lesson. Okay, let's go down here. DE is proportional to VU. Something you want to keep in mind that I started with AB, so I started with the larger one. So I'm going larger to smaller. So larger over smaller. You want to do smaller over larger, you can. But make sure you always have the correct side on top. So their proportion or their scale factor is 3/2. So DE is 8. VU is y plus 1 is equal to 3/2. I cross multiply. If I subtract 3 from both sides, Okay, I was confused. So if I subtract 3 from both sides, I get a 13 is equal to a 3y. I divide by 3, and I get a 13 over 3. Again, my preference is that I want improper fractions. Okay, perimeters of similar polygons. So the perimeters of these similar polygons. Two polygons are similar, then their perimeters are proportional to the scale factor between them. Meaning that if I add up my perimeter, this is going to equal the proportion between the sides, which we know equals the scale factor. Okay, example 4. So I have A, B, C, D. Again, remember this little symbol there. That little symbol means similar to RSTUV. And the scale factor, find the scale factor and find the perimeter of each polygon. Okay, so my scale factor, I have to go to a corresponding side. I noticed a few things here, first of all. I have some congruent side marked. So I'm going to start filling in what I know are some congruent sides. Okay, my scale factor. So let's look at some corresponding sides. AB is proportional to RS, but I don't know what AB is. So I'm going to have to move on. AE is proportional to RB. Well, I know what both those sides are. That's 4 to 7. So there's my scale factor. So now I can set up a proportion to solve for my missing sides. 4 is to 7. So notice in this example, I went smaller to larger. It doesn't matter which direction you go, just you have to have the correct pieces on top. So I have the smaller one on top here. I need to find what DC is to UT, well, that's 10.5. I cross multiply. So I get 42 is equal to 7 times the length of DC. DC is equal to 6. So this is equal to 6. This side is also equal to 6. So I need to find ST. So my scale factor is 4 to 7. I have to go BC is to ST. So 4 is to 7, as BC I know is 6, is to ST, which I'm going to call X. So 7 times 6 is 42 equals 4X. I divide, and I get 10.5. So then for triangle A, B, C, D, E, not triangle, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a pentagon. I add up all my sides, so I have 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So that whole perimeter is 26. And then for pentagon R, S, T, U, V, I add up my side. Sorry, I was making sure that I didn't make a mistake, which I didn't. So I have 7 plus 7. Here I get 45.5. I'm just double checking I don't have units, and I don't. Okay? That is our video on similar polygons. Thank you for watching.